Hey everyone, this is Ricky with Spoiler Force Podcast, courtesy of Popluck Podcast. You can find more episodes of Spoiler Force Podcast on Apple Podcast, SoundCloud, YouTube, or on Facebook at facebook.com/popluckpodcast.
It's an LP beat.
Alright, so this is Spoiler Force Podcast, episode 14, I believe. I can just check that really quickly. Want to make sure that I'm giving you the right number here. Just give me one moment here. Yes, it's episode 14. Yeah, for those of you who don't realize why I have to second guess myself was because I was on vacation last weekend. I went to the Sleeping Bear Dunes for the second time with my family. Nice, it didn't rain, good weather. Not too windy, but then the B&B we went to, it was a lot of bugs up there, so that kind of sucked. But overall, it was a great experience. Now, I do want to thank LP Yang for the music for my introduction and outro as well. Make sure to check out his Facebook and his YouTube as well. The links will be in the description. Again, I'll be posting that on all platforms, on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud as well. So make sure to check him out as well. Now, I do have a special guest with me this week as well. Someone I have not seen since high school. He was actually a senior before I graduated, and I have a lot of good times with this guy. He was really cool with me. One of my best memories with this guy was back in Hamilton's creative writing class, and that was probably my best experience with him. So this is my good friend here, Justin Rieser. Thank you so much. I said your last name correctly,
yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. Thank you, man, for making time. I know I hit you up like a few weeks ago, and I know you're pretty busy with what you do. So how have you been, man?
I've been pretty good. Just working a lot. I'm getting married this year.
Oh yeah, and I do want to formally congratulate you as well. I saw that on Facebook, but I feel like Facebook's not like, I guess I don't want to say intimate, but it's not personal enough.
Yeah.
Everyone's just clicking the like button.
Yeah.
I feel like if someone really wants to congratulate you, they'd give you, say it in person or give you some sort of gift. But yeah, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And it's crazy because like the last time we've seen each other was literally high school, and
I know it's been so long. Like I see you on Facebook and stuff. But it's just, I don't know, it's different seeing you in person after all these years.
And I find it's just crazy how we're adulting now. But you have your own place now.
Yeah.
You're engaged. You're doing well with your career. That's amazing, man. Seeing your stuff on Facebook from time to time, it's really like it's encouraging in a way to see that someone that from high school and from your early days of youth, that they are also succeeding in their life. So congratulations overall, man.
Thank you.
Where did you graduate from?
Macomb.
Okay, so you took a nursing program there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I was looking around, and I've always heard like good things about their nursing program and stuff. And it's only 2 years, and it's like something I could pay my way through. I never had to take out any loans or anything.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So you use like grants, or
I just paid out of pocket. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried going to Macomb for like a good 2 years too, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And for me, it didn't really work out, but yeah, it's good to see that you got to do what you're doing. And now, how long have you been in your I guess your career choice for nursing?
I started probably around December, like right in the beginning of December. So
last year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
it's not too long ago.
Yeah, not too long. Was it been like 7 months now, I guess? 8? Okay. Yeah.
That's great. Now, I do have like some family members that's like nurses as well. Now, the difference is like they do more things like with the doctor, I guess, like being an assistant as well. But being a male nurse, what kind of differentiates that? Like, do you have to do more of the physical work, I guess?
Yeah, people, every time someone, slides down in bed or, they need help getting them up to go to the bathroom, it's always the guys that they ask. Like, every time. Yeah, like, you really got to be careful and kind of protect your back.
Right. So you have to, like, pick up patients and set them on the bed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, nursing is pretty female-dominated, so It's like a lot of women on our floor, and they're always like, hey, can you help me boost this patient up? Or
I remember that time, too, like, when, like, a few years ago, that was, like, a high demand for male nurses because there wasn't enough, like, I guess, physical for people to have like the physicality to lift patients because it was so female dominated. So like they had like this huge request for male nurses. I guess that in that line of work, I guess that's where everyone was going to anyway.
Yeah.
Now, was it difficult at all trying to go into this career? I know there's like those tests that you have to take and like to pass your exams and whatnot.
It was pretty hard. Like the minimum passing grade for all our exams and stuff was like 78%. So it's kind of, you know, quite a bit higher than like, you know, normal high school exams and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then it was just kind of like a very quick paced program too.
Just like a few weeks of it.
Well, it was 2 years, but it was like, you know, you'd have like this class for 8 weeks and then go on to this class, and you'd have like they'd split it up in like 4-week segments and stuff.
Right. Oh, okay.
So it's like each class is only like 4 weeks, and then like they kind of combine together. It's like a block or whatever.
Right, so you're like taking multiple classes in such a short span of time. Man, that's a lot of like reading and studying to do. That's crazy, because my sister was trying to do that too. Like I guess she's not actually exiting out of the medical field. She's going for like for X-rays and stuff like that, instead of nursing now.
That stuff's great too. Yeah.
So like, because I kind of saw what she was doing with her nursing program, and like she was going to U of M for a while, and like it was just like how you were saying, it was just like short spans of weeks, like 4 weeks of this, 4 weeks of that, and then, like I guess it was just too much because she didn't want to stay at the dorms at U of M. So she was driving back and forth too. Yeah. So it was pretty hectic. Now, were you planning to make any like transitions from graduating from Macomb to like a bigger university at all? Yeah,
I am. You know, eventually, like it's on my radar. They have like programs where you can jump from an associate's to a bachelor's, and it's all online. You never have to like step foot inside a building or anything. Okay. And it's usually kind of like at like a bit of a discounted rate compared to normal tuition.
So is that what you're planning to do?
Oh yeah, and most hospitals, they give you like a little bit of a reimbursement. I think Beaumont does more, though, like 70%, which is nice. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I actually didn't know about that. I thought you'd have to actually physically go to the university and stuff like that. So that's actually like more. You can adjust your schedule better with online courses. Exactly, because like they know. Yeah. You know, you're busy working and everything already. So.
Now, do you plan to do that this year, or are you gonna like save up some time and?
Probably not this year, just because, you know, getting married and all that. We just moved in here. Next year, for sure, I think.
Okay. That's awesome, man. And I know that we're going to backtrack a little bit here. Out of high school, you were doing jiu-jitsu for a while, correct? Yeah. And that was pretty cool. Now, were you only just doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah. You know, I would have liked to get into something else, like Muay Thai or something. Striking art, too. But, yeah, at the time, I was just doing Jiu-Jitsu. I loved it, and I actually had to quit just because of school, because I was only working like 1 day a week while I was in school. So damn. Didn't have really enough money for like tuition and that.
Now, which school did you go to for your jiu-jitsu classes?
I don't think it's around anymore, but it was Jamel's Jiu-Jitsu Academy. It was on, I think, like Gratiot, somewhere in Roseville or East Point maybe. But I know one of his students. He's moved on and he's got his own studio. He's a black belt now, Bill Conkle. It's called Voyage Martial Arts in St. Clair Shores. Okay.
Might check that place out then, because it's not too far from where I live. Now, you competed as well, correct?
Yeah, I competed once. Oh, okay. You know, I finished on top. You know, I won my one and only tournament. I was like, all right.
That's badass though. I mean, like, talk about that experience though. I mean, like, that's just like you're doing your first tournament and then you win on top of that. Yeah. Now, was it like a beginners, like, kind of?
So it was like I don't know if you heard of it. It's the Elite Federation of Grapplers.
I heard something similar. To
yeah. Well, they've got like all skill levels. Like I think they had some brown belts and some like 1 or 2 black belts competing as well. But I was like very beginner white belt. It was just like 1, 2 stripes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, were you like intimidated at all, like seeing how they? No, you were.
It was such an adrenaline rush, like you know, just like being there, like you're just hyped up, you're like nervous, and.
Now, were you doing gi or no gi?
I was doing gi.
Okay, so that's like, now I never practiced with gi. I always, because when I was training, I was transitioning from wrestling to MMA. So when I was doing straight into MMA, they were like, all right, we're just gonna go straight into it, and like I guess. But the MMA classes, they're doing everything at once. So there's really like no time to do specific skill sets. They're training you to do like grappling with striking on the ground. So that way with no gi, you can just get up and like go. Now I know with gi, like the old school gi, like you can like pull on their shirts and like tug on their sleeves and whatnot. Now were you doing some of that stuff too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's key. Like, you know, you always gotta have like a good handhold like on their collar and whatnot. And yeah, like I actually really liked gi. You know, it's not as practical as no gi, but I enjoyed it.
I mean, like with gi, it is practical in some points. I mean, like, if you ever come across someone with like long sleeves and just like yank that shit, but still, I mean, that's badass though. I mean, to win a tournament like that, and you know, I've never competed in any grappling tournaments. I would like to when I was younger, but now, did you win by points or did you actually submit your opponents as well?
So I don't know if I had 2 or 3 matches. I can only remember 2 though. So the first one, I actually accidentally broke his toe.
Oh, damn.
he was my training partner like at my dojo as well too. So
okay.
It was kind of like a double whammy. It kind of sucked. But and yeah, he couldn't compete anymore. The second though, he passed out.
Really?
Yeah, I had a good collar choke on him, and
so that's like he have his actual like collar choking on him, or
so it's called like a paper cutter choke, but pretty much it's like he's on his back, and you have like your arm pulled across his neck, and you're pulling his collar over.
Oh, okay.
And you're just, you know, kind of putting that pressure on, and he didn't tap.
So pretty much like his arms like across his neck like this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And next thing I know, like they're trying to pull me off him. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's some tough dudes out there. For me, I would have tapped. I would be like, all right, I already know it's coming, so there's no way out. But man, there's some tough dudes out there because I remember when I was training MMA, I trained at you remember like East Side MMA?
Mm-hmm.
It was up in Gratiot 15. They're not even there no more. Like I only went there for like not even 6 months, and then I remember training with some of these younger people, and and that ego kicks in. They don't want to tap. Like, dude, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, you need to tap. Like, it's okay to tap.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, losing your joints or passing out or like any of that.
Like, I can understand why these young bucks like want to prove themselves so much. But now that I'm older and like I realize like these injuries that come along with the sport in the long run, I'm just like, just tap, dude. It's not worth it. Because like for me, I know when. If it's like if the submission is sunk in on me, I'm tapping. I already know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Same here. Like, you know, when you have like no chance of getting out of that. It's like just give up and, you know, restart sparring or whatever.
Now, do you ever, like, I know you mentioned like you had interest in Muay Thai, but did you ever practice any striking art at all?
No, not really. I'd like to do like boxing even too. Like, I see like a lot of boxing gyms around.
Yeah, there's quite a few actually. Like, or at least we're on the east side of Detroit. Like, I've seen a few. There was one I went to called JMB Boxing. I went there for like a good 8 months, and then they closed down. It was a very small gym. It was like they had 2 head coaches, and I remember specifically this. They had one guy who won the Golden Gloves. He was like he was a very young Arabic kid. He was like 18, and he was a Golden Gloves champion. He was pretty big. He was about like 160. But the thing was, he was short and stocky.
Yeah. So
I hit mitts with him. I sparred with him for like one day, and then there was another guy that I met. He was a bartender at Dave & Buster's, and this guy just had like the perfect build for a boxer. He was like tall, lanky. He was like skinny, and I sparred with him. He was the best guy in the gym. I didn't know that, so I was sparring with him, and he was like, "You sure you want to spar with me? Because like I don't want to knock you out." I'm like, "No, let's go." You know, because he knew I was a beginner because he never saw my face. So we were going at it, and like I can tell he was going light on me, so I just pushed the aggression. And once I cornered him, I was throwing my cross. I threw a cross. He ducked. Bam! Right hook. I dropped. I'm like, oh shit! And he goes, oh my god! I didn't mean to like, because it was just all momentum. He just did it. And pop. So like I fell. I was like, oh my god! I didn't mean to do that hard. I was like, I got up. I'm like, yeah, we're done. But man, like the boxing gyms, like, because I've coming off of MMA, like I never did a sport or a contact sport where it was just specifically that art.
Mm-hmm.
So in boxing, they were like really on me. They're like, "Why is your stance so wide? Why is your head so low?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, what? Get that MMA out of you, man. Keep your feet closer together and like, stay slick and moving." I'm like, "Damn, that's so much different." So when I was doing boxing for that amount of time, and then like I would spar with my guys who were doing MMA, I was completely different, and they're like, "Damn, like what changed, man? Like you don't fight the same no more." I'm like, "I don't know, I'm doing too much boxing now." So like, it was pretty hard, but I really wish I could get back into it. If it wasn't for like injuries and stuff, then I probably would still have continued. But like I threw out my shoulder and in boxing, I hit someone wrong, and like I felt the joint.
Yeah.
And then like from wrestling too, like I still have injuries from there, like especially from like it was like the end of the season in high school, and I got picked up and slammed, and I landed on my neck. And it wasn't a bad injury, but it was, the doctor was like, "Yeah, if you get slammed like that again, you have a potential chance of breaking your neck."
Yeah.
So like, living with my parents too, they were like, "No, you're not doing it. Like you're done." So I'm like, shit. So I had to stop it. I had to cut it short.
Yeah. I didn't really get many injuries, but I got like a little bit of cauliflower ear.
Oh, nice.
Like I can kind of feel like a little lump in my earlobe.
But see, like that's something to like be proud of too, though.
Yeah.
Because like someone's a fighter by looking at their ear, man. Like that's the first sign. If you're, at least for me, like if I was to ever confront anyone, I look at their ears. That way I know that, oh shit, like
they're the real deal.
Yeah, they have real cauliflower ear. I'm like, yeah, we're not messing with them. Because a lot of people who love the sport but never participate in it, they don't know like the actual art, how dangerous it is. So like this tomorrow is actually UFC 241. I don't know if you're watching that.
No.
Yeah, because a great jiu-jitsu guy, Nate Diaz, he's fighting tomorrow against Pettis, and man, because I bring it up because with your jiu-jitsu background, Nate Diaz is one of the best guys out there.
Yeah,
he's very slick, and man, like just watching, I'm excited for tomorrow's event because like it's not just him, it's him and Pettis, and like the main event's DC and Stipe Miocic. I don't know if you know who those guys are.
No,
they're heavyweight. They're fighting for the heavyweight title, but then like it's. They're drawn like it's like their second match or a rematch because like the first time they fought it ended within like a round. So like Stipe, who's the former champ, wanted to fight, and this is where like I kind of like don't like either, where he instead of like training and fighting to stay like active, he actually just stayed home and trained and took a long layoff, like I think about almost a year, just to come back and fight for the title. So like, especially with competition, I feel like if you're not continuously active competing, then it's like you kind of lose that edge a little bit. Yeah. Now, before you went to school, were you ever planning to like compete more in jiu-jitsu at all?
Yeah, I for sure wanted to do more tournaments and stuff. Like I said, like I just really like the rush of it. Like, when you take that person down and you get like that choke, or you got like that joint lock, like you're about to get it, and they're about to tap on you. Like, yeah, I really want to. I would like to get back into it.
Now, I don't know how it works though. Like, if you were to get back into it now, would you have to start over again? I guess.
I feel like I probably would, just because of
Sorry, come upstairs. Leaving it.
I take that's your fiance.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay.
Are we still going?
Yeah, okay. It's still going. I was just checking the time because I like to see like the time going.
Yeah.
I don't want my phone like close, and I'm afraid like the app's gonna close.
Yeah.
Now you were talking about like competing still and restarting.
Yeah. So like I said, my school it wasn't open anymore, so I think I would for sure have to like start over again. I mean, I was only like a 1 or 2 stripe anyway, but
I'm pretty sure like. I guess if you were to ever like restart again, coaches would know your skill by just looking at you.
Yeah.
Anyway. They'll know like.
And, like it's kind of like what you were saying too. Like, if you're away from it for a while, you lose your edge, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's like I probably don't have much skill anymore. Like I kind of just know the very basics, really.
Now, would you want to go back into gi or try doing no gi as well?
I think I'd be open to like no gi too. Yeah, just because like I said, it's a little bit more practical, like in the real world. I mean, like I said, like there are some things like like that collar choke I was talking about. Like you can do that with somebody's coat or something, but Yeah, you got like more options, no gi.
Yeah, with no gi, I guess it's just the style is a little bit different too. Like you really have to depend on yourself versus like using the tools like of your other options of the gi and whatnot. Now, have you ever like done any like leg locks at all, or is it mostly chokes that you've done or practice
No.
more?
We've done like some leg locks.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't even think anymore because, like I said, it's been a while.
Yeah, no. For me, I'm not too good with like so much leg locks. Like for me, when I was whenever I did my attempts of practicing jiu-jitsu, I really wanted to just learn like transitioning, like especially off my back, coming off a wrestling background, and like for me, like if I'm on my back and like I kind of just like freeze, I don't know what I'm doing no more. So like that's why I want to. If I were to take jiu-jitsu again, that's what I would want to learn is how to, defend myself off my back and then transition whenever I'm like on top and learning how to just, instead of just holding someone down, where you learn how to pass and like maintain like a dominant position, learn how to get to mount, learn how to get the side control versus like just holding them down and then, I mean, like wrestling's great, especially if you're just holding someone down and hitting them. But like with jiu-jitsu, I mean, it's very technical, man. Like to pass someone while they're still moving against you, and like you have to maintain your body weight on them, and like learning how to pass correctly. Because the moment you mess up, that bam, you get reversed. That's where like the scrambling, the scrambling and stuff, like that's what I love about jiu-jitsu. That's what I want to learn the most. I could care less about the submissions and stuff because, I mean, anyone can do it. It's more applicable when you see it. But learning the technical points of scrambling and the bottom game and top game, I think that's where it really shines the most. But that's where a lot of people see. That's the thing that a lot of fans or casual fans who see it, it's like, boo, it's boring. Like, no, that's the best part, man, because like that's like a chess game. Yeah. You gotta like really like learn the tiniest moments of when to move and when to pass.
That wrestling background in high school like really gives you like, it just teaches you like a lot of the basics, early.
Yeah, I mean like
you kind of go into it. I
mean with wrestling, especially at centerline, like we were, well, at least when I was doing it that one year, it wasn't too bad. I think what could have been different was how like Coach Dave trained us. I think he was so focused on like conditioning us to where like some of us didn't have, I guess, the physical aspect of it. So especially for me, I was like super conditioned when I was competing, but I had no strength. So we would go to like Frankenmuth and I got bodied by this huge ass country boy who looked like he threw pigs over his shoulders. And I'm like, Dave, dude, this guy's huge and he's like 52. I'm like, no way. And I was like, shit, it was bad. But like, I mean, if I could go back, and I really wish I could have just gone back and like started from freshman year to senior instead of just doing it the last minute. I think I would have been a little bit better. But I think I went back 1 year. I think it was like 2013 or 14. I went back to their gym, and they had like the ropes and a weight set. So they were really improving on like the training and physical conditioning of the actual athletes. So I thought that was pretty cool to see that. And I haven't gone back since, but I would like to go back just to see how like the kids are these days, because like all these young bucks in high school, and they look like older than us. Like it's fucking crazy. Like grown ass men in there. There was one kid I was like, I guess, rolling with, and I don't know, man, he was like 16. I was like, holy shit, dude, like he looks a lot older than me. Like I was like, I can blend in their class, like it was fucking wild. Now going back to like how your career is with nursing. Now, has there been any like incidents where you had to like, I guess something like that was like an emergency? I'm pretty sure you would have experienced that. Was there any cases where you had to like really like it was, I guess, severe? I guess, have you ever experienced anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, there's specific laws,
right,
where you can't like mention like identifying things, right? But yeah, like I've had people like actually die.
Wow.
On me, yeah. Only one so far, but yeah, it was kind of a shock. It was like 2 weeks off orientation.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh damn. And in that moment too, like I guess, you have to stay professional as well, and while you're experiencing that. So like, I mean, did that feeling of like just shock just kick in after it was all done, or like was it like learning how to like just I guess stay
like present in the situation.
present. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it kind of hit me like right away, like, the second, because we have these little monitors that show us like their heart rate and rhythm and all that, and like it just started flatlining.
Oh damn.
And like we ran in there, and like I just kind of like panicked, and like luckily I had some more experienced nurses with me and stuff who kind of took over a bit more, and I just kind of gave history more, so like to the doctors who came in.
Okay.
But yeah, like out shaken, like it was.
I couldn't imagine like being in that position. Like for me, I don't want to sound like immature or anything, but like for me, I would freak.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me personally, that's why like there's a lot of like the typical Asian family. They're always like be a doctor, go do this, go be a lawyer. I'm like, no, I would be the worst at the medical field, because if I witnessed or experienced something like that, I think I would have just like, oh my god, like I don't know what to do. I would leave instead of be there and like assess the situation, But that's pretty crazy. But like that's also quite an experience as well, to know that you have to maintain yourself, and it goes along with jiu-jitsu as well, being disciplined and stuff like that, and knowing how to focus your mind and to like just stay calm in that situation. So I'm pretty sure like in some way that helps you to like when you're in shock like that, to realize like, okay, don't freak out, stay calm.
It is like drastically different though, because like you go to like a tournament, or you go to your gym or whatever, and you're rolling around, like you just what's gonna happen, like what's happening, like you're gonna be in this fight, but like there, like it just happens, and like you're not really prepared for it.
It's like not so much spur of the moment, but it's just like bam, you have to react. And I guess like instinctually you have to like still remember like what you have to do, instead of like just going off of what you think is right, and you have to like go out and make sure like you don't mess up I guess the person that's there, because you don't want to be responsible for any more like damages, or I guess hurting that person even though they're passed. I had one, like I mentioned before, one of my aunts is a nurse too, and she experienced that, and she had to help or assist someone that was off of like a motorcycle injury, and they passed like on the way there. So I can only imagine like I hope that you don't experience that, but like to just maintain yourself during that kind of moment, man, I can never like think of myself being in that experience. I mean, that comes with the job that you're in too, to I guess assist people. So like how did that, I guess, what inspired you to become a nurse to help people?
Well, my mom, she had like donated a kidney to my aunt. My aunt's like a diabetic, and her kidney function was kind of going down a little bit, and she wanted to have a child, but they said like like you can't really unless you get a transplant from somebody. And just like the stories I hear, like she still talks about like to this day about like how big of an impact like the nurses made in like her care and whatnot. Like she remembers the really bad ones that like were just never in the room, and she remembers the good ones too.
Right.
It's just kind of cool like being like that impact on someone.
Now, do you work with those nurses that are like that?
Oh, 100%. There's a mix on like every floor.
I mean that's, I'm pretty sure everyone who's been in a hospital has experienced that.
Yeah. And honestly too, like sometimes like the patients feel like you're kind of neglecting them, but we have other patients too.
Right.
So it's like we might just be have an emergency situation in another room.
Now, how do you feel about that though? Like knowing that there are like I guess your coworkers who do actively do and work in that field. How do you feel about that? Like, I mean, I guess it's like in any other job where you work with some typical asshole, but like, but in your field, I mean, that's important to stay like, to not ignore anyone or try to, I guess, stay busy in a different way where you have to make sure like these patients are being well treated. Because how do you feel about that though? Like, do you think there should be some sort of like, I guess, retraining or something like that?
Well, honestly, like some of these nurses that are like that, they've been there the longest, and that's kind of why they're like that. Like they're just kind of burnt out, and like I've only been there like 8 months, but I kind of feel like the burnout creeping in on me as well.
You work like pretty long hours too?
12-hour shifts, like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay. And do you get called in at all?
No, not in like the type of area we're in, but I do like pick up overtime occasionally.
Okay, so that's like more like voluntary. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you experienced anything like creepy at the hospital at all? Like, like those typical Hollywood films where like the nurses or someone's like, you see the ghost walk past.
Yeah. No, I haven't personally, but there's like stories on the internet about like this little girl.
Oh shit!
It's always a little kid. Yeah. But there's like a little ghost girl that apparently appears now and then.
That's another reason why I couldn't be in the medical field, man. Like if I heard like, I don't know, man, because my aunt, when she was first starting, like she had to work like the floor above the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
So you hear shit and like the lights flicker and like she's like, you have to stay professional, but holy shit, like the things run through your mind at night, and damn, I don't know. I wouldn't have like the guts to like I'm out. Like I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm such a wimp when it comes to that kind of stuff.
No, I kind of love like all that creepy stuff. Like I love the scary movies. I love, I went to Savannah, me and my fiance, and it's like I don't know if you ever heard of it. Like Savannah, Georgia is supposed to be the most haunted city in the world or whatever, or in the U.S. at least.
Oh, I did not know that.
But like they've got like a lot of like voodoo from like the slaves that were there and stuff like that. And we did this really cool tour where like they take you around and to like all these like really haunted areas and stuff. I loved it. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Like they just kind of give you the history of what's
yeah,
going on.
Like like this square here, like it looks like a really nice park and stuff, but it's actually like a mass slave burial ground and it's super haunted. Yeah.
Have you ever like gone into any like I guess by your or with whoever, but have you ever actually like tried to go and experience those haunted houses instead of like a tour, like where you just go in yourself?
Well, funny story. I think I went with like Mike Valente and Seth Roshan once, and a couple others. We drove out to like some insane asylum, like an old insane asylum. I forgot where it was. It's I don't know, somewhere in Michigan. But we kind of like drove around and we found like this really super old cemetery, and we like were walking around. It's midnight, and that's like really my only experience, but it was a lot of fun. And when we were in the cemetery, a car came and like started driving. We saw headlights coming in, so we all just like dropped to the ground. And the car just kept coming in, and it got to the point where like we had to get up or we were gonna get run over. And this car just slammed on the brakes in the cemetery and just like hightailed it back out and just like sped away.
You guys already freaked them out. Like, holy shit! Like, is it coming off the ground like that?
Yeah.
You guys already freaked them out. Yeah, I don't have too many like paranormal experiences. I know. I guess at least for me, like coming from like a Hmong family, they believe in that stuff heavily.
Mm-hmm.
There's like this thing in my family where like my grandfather, he apparently when he was like a child, because he's an orphan, I guess the village in Thailand, they cursed him or something like that. So he experienced something like that, and apparently it like got passed on to us. I've never experienced anything too crazy. My dad has once, and from what he's told me, he said he heard someone speaking to him. I'm like, I don't know if you're just saying it to say it, or he did, because like it's freaky because like it's in our house when he was telling us that shit, and he was like, yeah, I was in the living room and I was sleeping and I heard someone say something to me. I'm like, oh, and that's on you, bro. I don't think it's coming to me.
You keep that to yourself.
Yeah. Now, do you believe in any of that stuff, like the paranormal stuff, like ghosts? Or
Honestly, no, not really.
No? See, it's always I like to hear that from other people, because like at least in the Asian community, it's a very superstitious thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I ask like white folks or shit, even like Hispanic or black folks, most of the time I get the response of what you said, like, no,
yeah.
I don't believe in it, because like I have a buddy of mine, he's married to a Hmong girl, and she believes in this stuff, but he doesn't. So I guess the way how they go at it, like she's like super old school Hmong, where like they do all like these Hmong traditions to keep the ghosts out. So they would rip like gold papers and like tape the paper around the house. And because he's more like westernized, he doesn't believe anything. He's like, why the hell did the ghost came? I would just like throw hands at the ghost. The way how they confront these issues it's so funny. So I like hearing other people's experiences who don't believe in like the paranormal or like stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like there might be like a tiny little part like way in the back of my head that might, think a little bit of it's real. But, like for the most part, nah. I don't really.
Maybe that's why like a lot of you guys like, especially in films, are all right. Let's go check it out. I completely see that now. Like I think if it was like a lead role for like an Asian to do that, I think we'd be like the movie would be done right now. We're not doing it, man. Like
yeah. I've never really thought of like that's the reason why all these white people have to go put themselves in shitty situations in scary movies.
I mean, it's the stereotype, but I mean, it's funny too though. Like when you think about it, it's like you don't see like other races in horror films like go and confront the supernatural or paranormal. It's always the white folks that's doing it, which I find it funny because like when you hear people like really break down those films, it's like, if they never did that in the first place, the movie would have been done.
Yep. Just drive off into the sunset, go to the beach.
Right. Now, man, what was I going to ask you here? I had like all these stuff lined up here, so give me one moment here. Okay. Now, what's your thoughts on like vaccination since you're a nurse now and learning all that stuff? I guess this new wave of parents are like not vaccinating their children. So what are your thoughts on that?
I am 100% for vaccination. I mean, it's just, it's so stupid. Like all these people, like they're not getting vaccinated, and now we have these diseases coming back that have been gone for like years and years now, and really they only exist in like third world countries and I guess like the US now, because
I think there was like one case where someone had like the Black Plague in Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, you're bringing back like that in the US?
Yeah. But yeah, like it's dangerous. Like if you part of the whole thing with vaccinations that really works in our favor is if enough people get it, the people who don't get it because they can't because of like health reasons, they might be allergic to it or whatever, it makes them safe because everybody else has it. It's called like herd immunity.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that way it doesn't like get passed on more like easily, and then that way I guess everyone's not sick, so they can be prevented from being sick. Now I know there's like, I don't have like legit like I guess data to back up from what I'm saying here, but like do you think like there's any links to I guess autism and vaccinations and all? I know that's a big deal with why people aren't vaccinating their children now.
No, as far as like I've read, autism, that's something you are born with. Like that's not something that like getting a vaccination at 1 year old like it's gonna give you. I guess there's like a physician who did this research that said that vaccinations cause autism and whatever, and he's like been pretty thoroughly discredited, and I think he actually like lost his medical license just because like his research it was like so poorly done and conducted, and just like the damage it's done by like leading people to think vaccinations do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, like with all the articles for like, being clickbait on Facebook too, I think that makes it worse on the medical field.
Yeah.
Because now you have to like I guess not restate, but you have to like redefine what you're researching and like give actual proof.
Yeah, you for real got to get like those reliable sites. They teach you that in high school. Like,
yeah, not to go to like what like
what's a good
sites.
source.
Yeah. Like
some article on Facebook.
Yeah.
Probably not.
See, that's the thing too. I think like with the internet and stuff and social media, like everyone's passing out so much information. It's hard to tell nowadays like what is real, like a real source and what's not. So like they should just bring it back to like where you literally have to go to your physician and ask them. Don't rely on the internet.
Yeah. I think like a lot of like older people too, like they kind of got into the internet later. Like we were raised with it. and like they don't really know that kind of thing, like how to spot like a reliable source and stuff like that. So I think like, you know, like people like in their 40s and stuff like that, you know, like they just missed like the whole internet boom. So like they, you know, they just didn't get those kind of skills that we got.
Right. And so they're kind of like a little bit behind us now because they have to relearn everything.
Yeah.
And
it's like what like they share like those things like that's fake. That's so
Yeah.
fake. Like
fake news. Now, I guess with your medical background as well, do you believe in any of those medical conspiracies at all? Like I know there was one I heard on the Rogan podcast. Like he was talking with Alex Jones, and they were like, Alex Jones is like super. I guess he's like a super conspiracist, and he was talking about like how for whatever I'm saying right now is like it's not like legit information. It's just based on what I'm hearing, so it's not 100% true. So whoever's listening to this, don't believe what I say because it's not like real unless it's on like a reliable news source. But what Alex Jones was saying was like how with the medical field, the conspiracies was like they were learning. I guess they, as in like the Illuminati or whoever's in power like that, they're trying to learn how to like use like EPO or like learn how to make themselves last longer. And I know with EPO it's like injecting red blood cells back into your body to where you can have more energy. And then a lot of UFC fighters
like the athletes do that a lot. Didn't Neil Armstrong
he got
lose all his
that.
medals and shit?
Yeah, he lost for that. And earlier this year, a UFC fighter got stripped of the belt because of that. And like I just learned what like EPO and stuff was like a few months ago. So like bringing this up, like, do you believe in any of those conspiracies at all? Like seeing like people kind of experiment on that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. Yeah, like I think it's totally plausible that that these people are like really looking into this kind of stuff. I mean, like especially when you hear like the experiments the government has conducted on people.
Yeah.
That like, you know, they've actually confirmed like, yeah, we did that. You know, like when they were like injecting black people with syphilis and stuff.
Yeah,
saying
that was a big one. Yeah, they were testing that.
Yeah, like
that's
I don't know.
up.
I guess nothing really surprised me that much.
And like there were some other cases too where like damn, I was just thinking about it. It's like where I guess they're learning how to like I guess they're studying all these new like diseases and whatnot. They're like testing to see if there's like a certain demographic that can survive it or not, and trying to see if there's any way to like survive it or to I guess make ways to I guess to help people with it. But now, do you think with this whole like I guess with the pharmaceutical as well, like there's like this I guess everything's a conspiracy really. Like they're making these diseases so people can go to hospitals and to the pharmaceutical stuff, and it's like an endless cycle of them paying so much money for all this medical needs.
Yeah.
No, and from what I've read, it's like the States, like from how we do it here is a lot different from like how Europe does it, or even fucking Canada do it. Like it's a lot cheaper over there than versus here. Like we're paying so much for our medical bills, and it's insane. Like, what's your thoughts on that as well? Like, since you're in the medical field, I mean, like, I know that you're covered pretty well since you're working in a hospital as well, right? With all of your
benefits. We don't even really get that great of insurance working for the hospital themselves.
No? Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's okay, but it's not as good as when I was like living with my mom.
Okay. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure like over the years you'll get something like a better package though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because you're just a little over half a year. I guess they're just like giving you some sort of standard for now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the state of healthcare it's pretty abysmal. I don't know. It's so bad. Like, I think like really what people need is like good primary care to like prevent things.
Right. Okay.
Like prevent all this stuff. I mean, I don't think like the pharmaceutical industries are like putting diseases out there to make money, because I feel like there's like enough naturally occurring things like that for them to make bank off of. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, and then you see these people that come in and they just come in all the time. You see the same people, and it's just, and you, like, you know, they're like on Medicaid, and they come in for the same exact thing that like could have been prevented, but like they just stopped taking their meds.
Right. Yeah.
Which,
That means the responsibility of the patient as well to maintain their health.
Or they're like eating poorly or whatever. Like
Now,
it just kind of sucks
have
overall.
With taking care of your patients as well, do you experience like the patients who like, I guess, get aggressive with you as well, since you're taking care of people in the hospital?
Oh yeah. It's usually like kind of like Alzheimer's patients or like there's this thing called sundowners, and it's basically like when the sun goes down, like these old people just kind of get crazy and they
start
try
flipping out.
Yeah, they try and fight you, or they try getting up and like wandering around. Like, no, like you gotta stay in your room. It's like 3 a.m. Like you can't just be like walking around the hallway.
Now, besides working in the hospital that you're right now, have you ever done like any like, I guess, assistance with, I guess, like at homes or something like that at all, or any like, I guess, pre-training before you got to the hospital?
No, not really. I worked at Nordstrom for like, I don't know, a long time. Too long, way too long. But like in school they put you through clinicals, and it's like 1 day a week where you're there for like 9 hours at the hospital, and you're kind of doing like all the nurse work for 1, 2, maybe 3 patients, depending on how far along you are.
Okay.
So that really kind of like teaches you.
So that's like more like the paperwork and stuff like that?
That's like, your hands-on skills kind of.
Oh, and then like someone's like watching you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like assessing the patient, and like medications, are they appropriate to give? Just kind of things like that.
Okay.
And like you're doing your charting and everything on them.
Now, like with all of that information being like, I guess that's a lot to take in as well. I don't have any experience in any of that stuff. So like, I guess when you're looking at the patient's chart and stuff, like I'm assuming there's a lot of like medical needs that they have, or stuff they can't like eat or do, or you have to look at their heart monitor and all the other screens that they have, right?
It's honestly like the worst part of the job is all the charting. Like it's like 2 hours just staring at the computer, clicking boxes like, yes, they had this, no, they had this, yes. And
that comes in from like the paperwork that they fill out, and you have to like put that in the system.
Not so much. Like I think other people put that in like when they're admitted.
Okay.
But just like our assessment of them, like, do they have swelling? Like, is their heart going too fast? Things like that. Like, you're kind of like looking over head to toe, just trying to make note of any like irregularities and things like that.
Okay. Now, do you take care of any patients that are like post or pre-surgery at all as well?
Oh yeah, we get like open heart patients.
Okay.
We get a lot of cardiac caths. I don't know if you know what that is.
It's like, I guess, to maintain the heartbeat, right? Is that what it is?
So it's like if you have like blockages in your arteries.
Oh, okay.
They'll go through like one of your arteries. They'll poke a hole and kind of go through with a catheter.
Oh, okay. Okay, now you're talking about it.
And
okay.
they'll clear that out if they can, or put like a stent in there to keep it open. Get a lot of those. But the open hearts they're pretty cool. Like they really like they saw through your rib cage, your sternum and all that to like get to your heart.
Damn.
Yeah, like we don't get them till they're, I don't know, like I think post-op day 3 or so. They're usually like in the ICU for the first couple of days, and then they come to us. We're a step down.
Right, so you don't deal with like that kind of critical.
Yeah, not like super fresh open heart surgery. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can only imagine like to deal with someone who's like fresh out of surgery.
Yeah.
To be really delicate with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's good for you as well too. Like that way you know like where they're coming from and all that, knowing that they're like where they're, I guess, how long they've been like after surgery, to know that okay, I can do what I have to do with these patients instead of like trying to guess what to do with them, like knowing that okay, are they like fresh out, or are they is it in a week, or that you got like a set time frame with all the patients that you're taking care of.
Yeah.
All right, so we've gone through with all these medical and like all this stuff here. Now, for you, how are you like maintaining yourself to not get sick at the hospital?
Like the first couple months, I was just getting sick. Like I felt like nonstop. Like I'd get sick, I'd recover a few days later, and then I'd get sick again like 2 weeks after that. I'm not really doing anything special. Like I just try and get sleep, which is hard. Like I actually just like installed some blackout curtains today in my bedroom, just to like completely block out the light when I'm trying to sleep. I started working out recently. I go with my fiance. She does this thing called Orange Theory.
I have no idea what that is.
It's like kind of like HIIT training almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's like an hour, and they just kind of like send you from station to station. You do like some floor weights. You do rowing.
Oh, it's in a way, it's kind of like what is it? Not so much like kind of like CrossFit a little bit.
Sort of, like not as much emphasis as on free weights and stuff.
Right.
It's more like body weight, and like you got like a heart rate monitor, and you're supposed to be like in certain zones at certain times and stuff.
Right, because I know some of those HIIT gyms, like they're getting popular. I've seen some on Facebook like being shared and sponsored. I know there's one like near East Point, like it's aimed specifically for like women, really, but like it's a.
This
HIIT.
is too.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Like there's like one or two other guys in there in like each class, and there's like a whole bunch of women.
Yeah, because like I know that these gyms are more aimed towards that, I guess to those consumers. And like there was, I've never done anything like that, but I went to one gym one time where you know the title boxing gyms. Mm-hmm. So like they're like that. But I thought that it was like a legit boxing gym because of the brand.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of looking at one.
Yeah, because I'm like, because of the brand. I'm like, like I bought some of their brand before. They have good gear, so I went there and I'm like, oh, that's a HIIT gym. Like the girl in the front desk was like, you sure you don't want to join us? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna pass on this. I thought y'all were like a real gym, like a real boxing gym.
Well, damn, that was like one of the options I was looking at.
Yeah, good to know. Like, cause like I felt stupid too. Though. I walked in there, I'm like, damn, I can't just like walk out. So I was like, I bought like a set of hand wraps.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I left.
Yeah, like I just like having somebody tell me what to do because like I'm not motivated enough to like make my own workout and actually go to the gym and do it and everything. Like, just tell me like row for 30 minutes or whatever. Like. So much easier for me.
Yeah, like I mean, like at the end you're still getting a really good physical workout. But I think for me, because I was so competitive when I was younger, like I felt like if I was to ever, I was telling my parents this too. Like they keep bugging me, like, why aren't you working out or why aren't you doing this? I'm like, because if I was to, for me personally, if I was to ever really go out and work out, I'd have to compete. There's no way I'm gonna work out and not compete because I get so competitive when I'm working out. Like. That was really my drive, really, when I was exercising and staying, like, trying to get physically fit was, I'm going to compete, or I'm going to do this, or like, my mindset was, like, I was training as if I was going to go fight someone. I mean, it's pretty bad, but I'm like, you have to, for me, I felt like it had to be more applicable than just, like, go and walk at the treadmill or do, like, a few weightlifting stations and stuff like that. Yeah. Because like I did flag football for a couple years, and like and during that time I was getting super competitive because I was getting tossed around like a rag doll out there. All these big ass dudes on the front line. I'm like, damn, I'm getting wrecked. So like I had to really work out, and so now I'm done with that too because I got injured in the field. So yeah, it was for me. I feel like with exercising, I have to compete and like get some sort of edge or something. Like I get like really obsessed about it. Like, all right, I'm about to go and be a UFC fighter.
Yeah, and like I remember like out of high school, like I'd go to the gym like 5 days a week and stuff. And I'd go hardcore and stuff. And like now, like I just want to lay on the couch and watch TV.
Yeah, I mean like especially with the hours you're working, man. Like I find it impressive to still work that out, those hours, and then go to the gym and then come home, and it's impressive. And for me, I would have not done that. I'm like work, come home, I'm done for today.
Yeah.
I mean, like, are you planning to do anything else besides that? Like, I mean, besides your career and what you're doing, are there any other interests that you were planning to pursue at all?
Like I was saying earlier, like I'm kind of interested in going back to jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing really else.
Nothing like social media wise or like any like artsy shit.
No, I lead like a very boring life. Like I look forward to like mowing the lawn.
You know what's funny is I think you remember those times when we were doing like visual imaging, like, or from Hamilton's we'd walk to G's class and stuff like that. So I'm just bringing this up because I've seen like I actually like became friends with some people from CL again. And I saw like the suggestions. I saw G on there. I'm like, oh my god, like holy shit! I didn't add her or anything, but like it's insane because when I think about it, like just doing this podcast and stuff and reuniting with some of the old classmates. And stuff, like I feel like it's a good way to just not so much relive the past, but to see how everyone else is doing versus just seeing how they're doing on Facebook. You know, so I think this is like a great experience to know that to see how well you're doing. And vice versa to see how I'm doing with my stuff too as well. But like I had like these errands I was doing, so I was like that's why I was messaging you earlier. I'm like, yeah, I'm running a little bit late because I had to deal with all this other bullshit.
Yeah, like really, I like I don't know, it's not really a hobby, but like I just love like I don't know, like media, like movies and like TV shows. Like you know, I'm always looking out like what's like the next big TV show. Like right now, like I've been catching up on like Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if you ever watched it.
I don't even know what that is.
No?
No. On Hulu.
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale. Okay, yeah. My sister I watched like the half of the first season. I know that actress. She got big from that show. She was in that movie Us. She was in that too.
Yeah.
So I mean, how many seasons? There are 3 seasons now.
Yeah, it's currently on the 3rd, I think.
Yeah.
I just love it because it's just like so dystopian and depressing.
Yeah, I heard like it's pretty fucked up in that show. Like how the main character, she's like witnessing all. It's like a cult, really, right?
Yeah. It's like a cult like takes over like the entire U.S.
Are you into any of that stuff too, like the whole cult stuff? Besides that show, I mean, do you follow any of that stuff?
No, not really.
Because like, man, there's like so many stories of like cults in like the U.S. and everything. And I find it so insane like, how someone can just manipulate a crowd of people like that.
Yeah.
Just say some bullshit and like everyone's on them like, oh my god, like we gotta follow them, you know?
Yeah, some people are just looking for something to believe in, like anything. It's weird.
Now, let's see. Now, have you seen that movie Midsummer at all?
No, but I was kind of interested in it.
Yeah, because like, I haven't seen it either, but I spoiled it for myself because like by the time I was gonna go watch it, it's already been like a month. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just look at the spoilers, and that's involved with the whole cult and everything, and not just that, but like the whole, I guess like those, not EDM stuff, like kind of like Lollapalooza. That's kind of like that, those kind of events. Do you mind spoilers? Because like no, go ahead. Okay, because the name of my show, I spoil everything on here anyway.
I've got like such a big backlog of shit. Like, who knows if I ever even get to it? Yeah,
like in the film, I guess overall it's a cult that they go to, and they think it's like this huge event, and like apparently this film, the way how they directed it at the end, where like the main guy, he cheats on his girlfriend, and there's like they had like this huge ordeal with the last scene where it's like this giant sex cult scene, and like she's like, and she's witnessing it happen to the guy, and she's crying, and like all these ladies are like wailing with her, and then by the time you know it, she like she becomes, I guess, the leader in the cult, and she kills him by sending him to a bear that they have in the cult. The bear eats him alive and shit. I'm like, man, that's some fucked up shit, man. Like all these cults, man. Like you think what you see in the film, and it kind of exaggerates, but there are people like that. Yeah. And you never know who it is.
What was your personal opinion of the movie? Was it good? Should I watch it?
I think it's interesting. It's better than Hereditary from what I've seen. I thought Hereditary was trash.
I kind of liked Hereditary.
I thought it was trash. Like that. I mean, besides that twist at the end, the whole build up to it was boring. And like, what's funny was when I rewatched it, I never noticed that the girl, her head was on that monument that they built. Yeah. So I never noticed that until I watched it again. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucked up. Like, but like, yeah, like I forgot whoever the director is. Like, he's got like that kind of taste for the whole cult situation and all that stuff, and like the whole I guess, demonic twist to things and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I didn't find it to be more. It wasn't horror to me. I guess it's more psychological.
No, it's not like traditional horror, really.
I mean, like, it's more psychological. I like that kind of stuff too. But like, it's I don't know, those kind of films, like, I guess the details that they use, like, you have to catch the moments that the actors are portraying, or whatever details that they have. That's more of what's explaining the story versus like head on, like, for example, like Insidious, where everything's all like bang bang bang, like all the sounds and all the huge visuals, like especially Insidious, where like the ghost was behind the dad, like, you know, that's all the jump scares.
Yeah.
And so I guess with Hereditary, it was more like you had to think about the film and then it freaks you out. So like those kind of build-ups, it's different for me, but I didn't really like it.
It was like one of those movies like where you finished watching and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, you know, like Us.
Like, that was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, Us was like that too. Like Jordan Peele, he didn't capture, at least from what I think, I don't think he captured what he wanted with like how Get Out was. Like, Get Out was amazing. And then watching Us, it was like, you know, there was just too many like minor details and too many, like, I guess, M. Night Shyamalan twists to it, and you don't really like draw into it until you watch it all, and then you have to sit and think, and then you have to go back and reread all the theories, and then you get what the film was, and it's just like a lot of overflowing messages in that film. So I didn't find it as great as I thought it was. I mean, like, I thought that film, the actors did great, you know, and it was like visually, it was pretty horrifying, and the way how they were doing the whole like underground scene, and like how the theory of, like, you know, all these conspiracy stuff, like the government had like all those tests, and the subjects are rising above, and all the historical events, like the people holding hands across the United States. Like, I thought that was pretty unique, but overall I thought that story, it didn't capture exactly what like Get Out had. Because I thought Get Out was like great, like the whole twist to where, like, you know, the white folks are villains. So, and then they had like that one Asian guy in there too. The one Asian dude in that whole crowd. I'm like, really, just one? Like, you didn't have like any other Asian folks in there that could have been villains? But like, yeah, Jordan Peele has like a very unique taste of like psychological thrillers too. And I think he's doing his version of the Twilight series too.
Yeah, very. You know, I think it's a shame though, because I think it's supposed to be only on like some kind of CBS subscription service.
Oh yeah, I don't know. There's like, I just find that weird too. Like, a lot of the subscription or streaming services, it's going back to cable again.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. Like, you know, I can't have a subscription to like 10 different services. Like, I might as well just get cable and just DVR all this shit.
Because like Disney Plus was coming out, and they had like
I might subscribe to that, because, you know,
I think
they got a lot of content.
Especially buying out Fox. Yeah, they have a lot. But like, the thing is, like, their bundle was like $12.99 a month, but you get ESPN and Hulu. Yeah, and I was like, come on, that's just like fucking cable all over again.
You know, I'm sure they're gonna like raise that shit up too.
Oh yeah, I mean, Disney Plus is like Disney. They're super smart. Even if you don't get that bundle, their streaming service, $7 a month. Come on, like, it's easily baiting everyone.
I think they're gonna do like go the Netflix route, and, you know, they bait you at that low price. And then over the years, it's, you know, it's gonna start creeping up. Like, I think we've gotten like 2 price hikes with Netflix in like the last year at least.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand why they're doing it, to release more original content, but like, all of their original content isn't great. There's a few good hits. Like, have you seen Stranger Things? That's a good.
Fucking love Stranger Things.
That's like by far one of their biggest ones. But then like, there's that quality, and then they have like fucking Bird Box, a movie filled with memes on the internet. You know, like, it's not even that good. It's just something that everyone makes fun of.
Yeah.
What did you think of Stranger Things season 3?
So much better than season 2.
You think so?
So much. Season 2, it really kind of lost me. Like, they had the whole thing where she kind of went off and found her siblings, I guess.
Yeah, like number 8 or something like that.
Yeah, like all the other experimented on children or whatever. And it just kind of felt like filler, and, you know, they never brought it up again, and I thought season 3 was actually pretty good. Not as good as season 1.
Oh, by far, season 1 was, I think that one, they got us good because of the whole, like, I guess the whole '80s theme, the nostalgia, and then the twist to it too. Like, okay, now you're hooked onto the storyline, and now you're gonna just binge out the rest of the series. But I thought overall season 3 was great too. I mean, I like the fact that they kept it in like within that group, and I love like storytelling where you have like, you have 11 and her crew, then you have Nancy and what's his name,
Jonathan.
You have them, and then you have Steve and his, there's like 3 different storylines that they all intertwine at the end. I love that kind of build up, because like I guess that has more like the whole Tarantino does that a lot with his writing. I like that a lot. You get to see different points of views, and then they're all like within that same general theme, and then when they all clash together, especially like when they fought at the mall. I love that scene. Yeah, they're throwing fireworks at the Demogorgon, and then they're trying to like keep it off, like whatever they're doing. And I find it so like crazy too, like with how they killed off Max's brother at the end, and then they killed off Hopper, or apparently they supposedly killed him off. Do you think he's dead though? Because I don't think he's dead.
I don't think so either. I'm hopeful he's not, because Hopper is one of my favorites.
It's like there was like right after the series like was on Netflix, people were like, whoever, like the people that finished it first, they were making memes already. They're like, you see the ladder? Hopper jumped off, and he didn't get caught in that blast. And like one of the theories was like he was the American that was in Russia. Yeah, like he could have been absorbed into the whole.
But I saw another theory where it was like Dr. Brenner, that the guy from season 1. Yeah, who created 11. Like he's still alive.
One of my buddies was telling me that too, that he thinks he's still alive too. Yeah.
I think they actually confirmed it though, like in another season, that like they mentioned him kind of briefly, like he's still.
I think it was that filler episode when she went to go meet the other the girl. Like she brought him up, and like I guess her mind tricks or whatever, like she was able to show 11 him, but then I think I have to go back and rewatch, but I think they mentioned that he is still alive. Yeah. 11 has to figure out like where. I think they're going to go with 11's story, where she's going to go figure out where he's at.
Like it kind of makes sense too, because like how else would they know all this stuff about the Upside Down?
Yeah. And it plays out too with her powers too. Like how else is she gonna regain her abilities? I feel like I think it's more than that. Just her getting hurt. I think she used it too much to where it's gonna like be gone. So I think that's gonna be a huge twist to, I guess, the next season of season 4. And now that she's moved with Will away from the town too, so like that's gonna be a big. I don't know exactly how they're gonna play that out, but I feel like that's gonna be like more broad with the setting now, instead of just focusing on where they live now. It's like all over the place. And like there's one scene though, like in this season 3 that I personally couldn't stand. I know people loved it a lot, but like where Dustin sings with his girlfriend, it's like, what the fuck, like I don't know.
I mean, it was pretty cringy. Like I was kind of like halfway. Like I was like, okay, I kind of like it.
Like if y'all didn't sing, Hopper would not have died. Like he wasted all that time doing that shit. But I thought that was funny in a way too, because like no one believed Dustin. He has a girlfriend. Like, no, you don't. Have you heard his, like, the actor who plays Dustin? Have you heard his music at all?
No, I hear he's like in Broadway and stuff too. Even
he had like a band. I think like last week or a week or sometime this. Like I think it was a few weeks ago. He was at St. Andrews with his band.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I have a buddy who works at Quicken Loans, and he was trying to get tickets to go there just to see him live. But he was like, it's sold out within a week. Wow. Yeah. So I'm surprised. Like I'm assuming a bunch of children went to go watch him live, but to know that he has his own little band and they're doing that, dude, that's pretty wild.
Do you think he sang "Never Ending Story" as like the encore?
I think that's him. Oh, probably too. He'll probably sing that at the end of his every show that he does, like just to give like a homage to Stranger Things. And I think it's crazy too, like how they set up for that show. Like it was Halloween, and like because those kids are growing up so quickly, they had to do like a Independence Day theme to it, where, instead of like the Halloween theme. Now, also, are you watching it at all? Are you gonna watch the new one?
Oh yeah,
next
for sure.
month?
I heard there was just a pop up in Detroit. Did you hear about that? It was like a whole like little like creepy clown carnival.
Nope, I never heard of it.
Yeah, I just saw someone like post on Facebook yesterday, I think. But I guess like the lines were like crazy long.
Just to see like clowns and stuff.
I don't know what it was exactly, but like it was just kind of like a creepy carnival.
Oh
but
shit.
it was like from the filmmakers.
Oh, like okay, so like it's like it inspired.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Man, I don't know. I
Like they were kind of doing it to promote the
Yeah.
new movie.
think I didn't see it, but I know last year they were like promoting it like with the red balloons and like, at the theaters and stuff
Yeah.
too. Like I thought that was pretty wild. I don't know, but this new one looks insane though because I never read the book, and so like on my previous podcast episodes I was talking with my friends, they were talking about like how Stephen King, he had like this whole like messed up part of the book that they came and put in the movies where it's like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or didn't they like sodomize kids or
Yeah,
something? Like somebody.
they had like a group orgy or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit, that's like I didn't even know any of this stuff. Like man, like to think that was part of the original It story. They for sure they can't do that in the film.
No.
That's fucked up. But like with the sequel though, like not having them being adults, I think it's gonna be more, like how we were talking about psychological thrillers earlier. It's gonna be more of that because now you're gonna see it through the eyes of an adult of what they went through and all the trauma that they've gone through. And I think with what they're doing with the sequels, that's what they're hitting at.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I had a buddy. I had not a buddy, but I had like one of my parents, one of their friends. He's not impressed with the new It. I'm like, man, this new one here is like, I think it's more terrifying than the original or the first film of it. Like it's just like the way how they are building the story up, and you see like, I guess it's more visually scary as well, but like just thinking of it, like the situations that each kid was in, what they've experienced, and then like especially with what's her name, Beverly, her experience. I think hers is gonna be the worst one in the film, and like the cast itself too for it too. I think it's fucking great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like James McAvoy is one of my favorite actors out there, so like I'm excited to see how he's gonna portray his character, and then they have everyone else who matches the child as well.
Yeah.
I was hoping that they were gonna have Ben be Chris Pratt. I thought that would have been perfect. I thought that was because Facebook.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know if I could see Chris Pratt in this kind of movie.
like
He's just too goofy all the time.
in a horror film. It's too much like two Star-Lord out
Yeah.
there. Starts doing a dance off with it. Like, all right, It, me and you. But like, yeah, I'm excited for it for next month. I think it's gonna be very well received. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that first one? Like the first part of it?
I enjoyed it. Yeah. It's kind of interesting though, because like my mom and my aunt, I think they read the book and they saw the original from like the 80s or whatever, but they went and saw it and like they didn't like it.
Yeah, a lot of the older people didn't really enjoy it.
I was like, really? Like, I thought it was pretty good. Like, yeah.
My parents, my mom especially, she enjoyed it. She thought it was more terrifying than the original. But I guess, with people that are from that era of films or Stephen King's films, they prefer that. Because I think I saw Pet Sematary, the remake. I thought it was okay. But from watching the original one, the first Pet Sematary is way better.
Is it?
Yeah, but
that's another one that's like on my backlog. I gotta see this Pet Sematary.
Yeah, I saw it the weekend it came out, and visually it is pretty scary, especially like with the wife's background where she had to take care of her sister her sister, and it's like she's all like twisted and crippled in the bed. I thought the way how they showed it in the remake was a lot better. It's more scary, but it's with budgeting and everything and with better CGI, it looks better. But I think story-wise, I felt like the original one was better because they changed it up, and with one of the child that dies, they changed it. Instead of the daughter, it's the son in the original one. So in this new one, it's the daughter that gets killed. So like they switched it up a little bit, but I think overall it was okay. I guess without watching that first one, or the original film, I liked it. I think you might like this remake of Pet Sematary. Like I never read the book though. That's the thing. So I might want to go back and try to read the book for Pet Sematary.
Dude, I tried to read it, and it was so difficult.
Yeah, it's like over 1,000 pages.
And Stephen King's like the way he describes things, it's just so lengthy. Like like, damn, dude, you just took like 2 pages to describe the setting, or, like where they are. Like, I can't do the whole thing like as much as I wanted to.
I mean, like with his writing too, it's like his mind is so weird. Like even when you see how he is in like interviews and stuff, like how he talks, it's like it translates to his writing, like how weird he is and what he thinks of. And I really wish they kind of like besides the people who like really know his work, I wish they like in the films like how all the books are connected. I wish they did that in the films.
Oh,
like,
that'd be cool.
Because I know Dark Tower had a big part of that where you see like bits and parts of like all the other Stephen King stuff. I felt like if they did like a Stephen King universe, that would be pretty sweet to see that how each film or each book was connected. That would be pretty dope to see. Now, have you seen any of the? Did you see that last or the recent Fast and Furious at all?
No, like I never really just got into the Fast and Furious movies.
No.
Like I tried and like, they're all right.
Yeah, I talked about this on my last podcast too. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like before we get into that though, what's your thoughts on Dwayne Johnson though as an actor? Because this is going to connect to what I'm going to have to say.
He's not like a good actor. I'm like, I enjoy his movies. Like he's just like one of those like actors like you just want to like. But yeah, he's not like a good actor.
Like, I think like if he was out of those action films, I think he'd be an okay actor overall. But because he's so macho, he's like all muscle and he looks like a fucking mountain. Yeah. So like he has to play that part. Yeah, but like how it goes with Hobbs and Shaw, I thought it was bad because like it was just with the whole Fast and Furious franchise. It's like it's the whole. They're bringing like the whole like stunt stuff and like the explosions like Michael Bay and all the unrealistic action sequences. Like there was one scene I hated the most where he caught the chain that was connected to the truck.
I think I heard about that in your podcast.
And he like yanked the helicopter to the truck. I'm like, oh my god, dude! Like he is not. He's strong, but there's no way he's lifting a chain that's connected to a helicopter. Like it was just too much for me. Now, okay, so I'm gonna wrap up things here a little bit, just to not so much save time, just because I don't want to go overboard here. So, just a few more last topics here. I mean, like we've gone over with your career and with all these other tangents and stuff as well. Now, do you have any like future plans at all for your medical career? Do you plan to go like I guess a step ahead of a nurse? Do you plan to, or do you just plan to stay as a nurse?
Like I just hate school so much. Like I do want to advance even further, but just like the thought of just so much more schooling just like kills me inside. But there's like this thing called it's like nursing informatics, and it's kind of like nurse IT almost in a way. Like you're kind of helping users like with the new electronic medical record systems and stuff, like the new features and whatever changes that come out. And then you're also doing like data collection, like like this unit had like this many falls this month, and like what can you do to prevent that and stuff like that. Like that's kind of interesting to me. I think that's like a master's level. Yeah, like at one point I wanted to be like do nurse anesthesia, which they make like bank. And you're pretty much just doing like the anesthesiologist stuff, but you're not a doctor,
right?
But I don't know, that's like a doctorate. It's just so much.
Yeah, because you're dealing with all of the like the chemicals and a lot of the chemistry part of like the medical field. I don't know if I'm trying to recall. I think I might have known someone who was going for anesthesiology, and like the course itself just going into is pretty long. It's lengthy just to even get that degree to get to that, to where you're not even the doctor but to just be like the assistant. But thanks for doing this, man. Like I'm glad you made some time to
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, to be part of my podcast. I mean, this is your first podcast ever, so like what do you think of it overall? I mean, I hope it's not like to where it's not like I guess boring to you.
No, enjoy it. It's kind of like I said, like it's kind of like the Nerdist style, like where you're just kind of catching up with the person pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that's what I try to do, and to any of those who are like listening, especially like if you went to school with me as well, hit me up, man, because I will definitely podcast with you, and I could definitely use like the shares and stuff. Yeah, man. But thanks for making time for doing this, man. Like, and again, I'm glad to have caught up with you again to see where you're at in life, and I know we don't hang out as much, and I know you have your own personal things as well. But it's glad to make time to just see how you're doing, especially after not seeing you since high school. So I think this was really great for me personally.
Yeah.
And I mean, Facebook doesn't show everything, man. 'Cause, like, people always try to live their best life on the internet, but like I think it's best if we try to go back to, I guess, these old ways where you go back and reach out to your old colleagues and friends and stuff, just to check up on them.
Facebook, it's like that connection too, because like, I see you post all these things that I'm like super interested in too.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I never knew like Ricky was into that. Like, like the Karate Kid TV show.
Oh yeah, I know.
Cobra.
I know you're a big Karate Kid fan. And, damn, I really wish if I was was it last year? If I remember that, I would have gotten you something from the guy who plays Johnny.
Yeah, that would be cool.
When I met him, man, like it was like fresh out. He just got there and he was hype as fuck. So it was super cool to have met him. And I met Ralph Macchio like a few years ago too, and he was pretty cool. But I was like, man, he's just so LaRusso, like so. It was just like, man, I liked him, but I felt like meeting the actors who play Johnny and even his sensei as well, like meeting Martin Cove, meeting them, man, like they were a lot cooler. I can see why Cobra Kai is just so much better than Miyagi-Do karate. But again, man, thanks for doing this. And before I sign off as well, I just want to say thanks to LP for making the music for the introduction and outro for my podcast. And also check out Indochina Gardens in Boyne City. They have some of the best Chinese food in Michigan, especially in the northern part. If you ever go to Boyne City, that's I know the people who work there, and like I'm like in talks with them with trying to like get them to sponsor me in some sort of way. Like it's more like a give and take, really, because like they're not so much sponsoring me, but I'm allowed to like advertise myself over there. So I'm trying to get in talks with them, like if you sponsor me and give me some cash, then I can sponsor you guys more. So if you ever go to Boyne City, definitely check them out too. It's a nice Chinese restaurant, very high quality. It's not typical stuff, And me personally, I feel like they have the best, they have the best fried rice up there, man. No one's beating them. You can't beat them. But again, man, thanks to you, Justin, for making time again, and thank you for those who are listening. And just a few updates here before I finally sign off. Just know that if you are listening to this, I'll probably have this uploaded after the weekend. I'm gonna try my best to upload this tonight to keep it more like in continuity. But tomorrow is Michigan Comic Con, August 17th. So I'm gonna be there, giving out free comic books and just trying to sponsor this podcast as well. So if you listen to this, and if hopefully, if I can get this uploaded before tomorrow, then if you do listen to this, try to find me at Comic Con. If you do, then you'll probably have a better chance at winning this contest I'm trying to share on Facebook. Have you seen it? I made a post on Facebook. I'm giving away this Mr. Freeze Funko Pop. That's an exclusive. So it's free, no catch. I'm not trying to like yank your money or something. So
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm giving that away. But yeah, man, this is Spoiler First Podcast. My name is Ricky. Thank you so much for listening. And again, if you see me at Michigan Comic Con, don't be afraid to say hi. I'm going to be doing a podcast tomorrow too, do it live there. So you're going to hear like a bunch of people walking and talking. So that's going to be pretty interesting as well. And then also another update. It was supposed to be tomorrow night, but next Saturday I have another guest as well for episode 15. It's with a good buddy of mine who's a Marine. So I'm excited for that as well. And again, I haven't gotten any word from Ari Spears as well. I don't know if you've heard about that.
I heard it.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten any word from him yet, but please stay tuned, because if he does contact me, I will spam the shit out of that news, and hopefully I can get to podcast them as well. So yeah, this is Spoiler First Podcast. Thank you for listening, and have a great night. If you enjoyed this episode, follow my Instagram at RickyVang92, RICKYVANG92, and follow Popluck Podcast on Facebook.com/PopluckPodcast.